it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Born and unborn. Okay, has everybody had a chance to look over the agenda? If so, I'd like to get that approved.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda, please.
Second. I'll second.
Any discussion? None heard. All in favor?
Aye.
And approval of the minutes for December 5th, 2013.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the December 5th meeting.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Any discussion? None heard. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anything on public comment? Nope. No volunteers for public comment. Tim, maybe you can help me with the chairman's report since Walt is waylaid on his way back from Ohio. Do you have an update on the restaurant lease? Or Tom, do you have that?
Tom may want to give that.
Yeah, Tom.
I'll go some personal with that on Monday. Thank you.
This past Monday, there was a closed study session amongst the board in regards to the Water's Edge restaurant lease. We have a tentative agreement with the Sharkies. It'll be a 2-year agreement. I don't have the exact details in front of me, but it just needs to be signed off on. It was approved. It was voted on and approved by the board. So it looks as if the Sharkies will be at Water's Edge for an additional 2 years, and until it's actually signed, that's about all I can really share with you tonight, Bill.
Okay, well that's good. That's good news. Hi. Well, that's great. Oh, thank you. Tim, you want to give us a little bit on the annual meeting?
Yeah, the annual meeting, they'll be updating probably all the commissioners, Carol usually does, about re-upping for the commission if your term is up. And then also tonight we need to vote on a chairperson for the commission. That she sent out a late notice. She wasn't late. She sent out a notice this week that the commission needs to decide that before the annual meeting. This is our last meeting before the annual meeting on March 24th.
For the recreation chair.
Yeah, for the chairperson. So
yeah.
They have it at the board.
Okay, I think since he's not here, we'll make it unanimous. Okay, when do we do that? Later on this evening?
Whenever you want to as chair. I mean, you can decide that if you want to get it done early or get it done late.
Well, why don't we do that now? That's just for the chair.
Right, yes.
What, have you talked to Walt at all about maybe re-upping?
I haven't heard that he did not want to. I think he's been very active, and I haven't heard him.
Well, he's done an excellent job.
Yeah.
I can tell you this. I've been on this commission a long time, and I've been vice chair for a while, but Walt has done an excellent job, and I certainly am not in any position to move up. I got enough irons in the fire right now. So would somebody want to nominate a person?
So moved.
So moved. Okay.
So we do have a nomination for Walt Kotcher as commission
chairman, right?
Yes.
Is that Leah?
Yes, that's what I was doing, yes.
Second?
I'll second.
Okay, John? All right, any discussion on that? None? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Way to go, Walt. You got it again, buddy. I hope you hear this on your radio. Okay, and the new kayak event, Township Liaison, Tom, I guess you're going to talk about that?
I'll be happy to.
All right, great. Thank you.
This is something that I think it is a long time coming. Last year we did some improvements down by the north end of the marina at Water's Edge to make an accessible kayak launch. We had it was used for a number of weeks by quite a few people. This year we want to put on a kayaking event. It's going to be June 7th with a rain date, tentative rain date of June 8th. We're going to have two different, Kathy, help me here, two different events. One's going to be a sort of a treasure hunt. We'll go up through the thoroughfare canal and then come back down. The other, it will be more of a long distance kayak for the hardcore experienced kayakers. We're looking for volunteers to help us plan this and put it on. But as it goes right now, it's going to be June 7th at Water's Edge. It's going to be kayaking in the morning, come back. There's going to be food up at the pavilion and entertainment. We're going to try to have the pool open for families who maybe one of the parents wants to kayak and the other isn't interested. So we have the pool open for the children. We just need input and volunteers to help us put this on. So this entire commission is invited to jump in wherever they want to. Go ahead, Kathy. Kathy, with We Kayak, is involved in this.
The age group is 16 and above. And if anybody wants to donate a prize or donate, anything that might be nice, PFP, $20 for a gift, anything at all, we're more than willing to accept because all the money's going to go back into the pot so we can make it a really great event. So if you feel like participating only a little bit, just let us know and we'll pick up your prize. Thank you.
And it's going to be a sort of a tropical event, so we're going to have entertainment up at the pavilion as well as the food. And our mascot's going to be a parrot, and it's going to be "Where's the Kayaker?" So hopefully it'll be a fun event. Everybody will get involved. We'd like to draw people from not just our immediate area, but from all over. So we're going to be setting up links, working with other kayak shops, local business people, and trying to make this a large event. It'll be great for Grosseile. A good visual event, very colorful. There you go, Bill.
Okay, well, that's great. And for those of you who may not be aware, Kathy is not only one of the spearheads for working with this kayak issue, but she's also been a tremendous supporter with her group and with her efforts. So we want to thank Kathy for that, and also want to thank the board for actually the Recreation Commission for getting the temporary one put in, and everybody in the township can use it and enjoy it. So thank you all, and thanks, Tom, for the report. Recreation Commission Director's Report, that would be Tim Rooney.
Okay, thank you, Bill. The first item I had under the Recreation Director's Report is the annual report, and I don't know if anybody had a chance to read it yet. I tried to get it out a few days before the meeting. Basically what the annual report is an update to the community and the township board of what we've been doing over the past year. We always include the mission statement, what the commission's charges are. And I know that's a little bit of a regurgitation, but we take those items very seriously. And then we have the master plan that we update every 5 years. We try to listen to the community when the plan's being developed and follow those over a 5-year period, and then revise if necessary at public meetings and going to the board to update the plan. The next section under the annual report is program offerings, and that's broken down into various groups. We think that's a nice way to do it. Special events, preschool, youth, sports and fitness, adult, senior programs, the golf course programs, the pool, and the marina. And then there's a few little odds and end items that we cover in the report. The next section is the facility oversight and our management responsibilities to the various all the buildings, the parks, natural areas that are under our responsibility, like the Water's Edge area, recreation area, 75 acres with all the different amenities there. And within each of these sections, we identify the maintenance projects and the projects we accomplished during that year of the annual report, the 2013 projects. Then there's the Centennial Farm, 32 acres. And most people know what the facilities are there: the activity room, the equestrian center, the outdoor activity areas, playground, pavilion, dog park, children's garden, nature pond, trails, and animal shelter. But obviously there's groups within each of those facilities that actually oversee them and monitor them, that we work day to day with. The animal shelter really falls under the public safety. The children's garden, we work with the Herb Society, but they pretty much make that go. So we're not taking responsibility, but we're a lot of partnerships within these different facilities that we operate and oversee. The playscape, we've heard a lot about that. I think it's in some of the best shape it's been in a long time. We'll treat it again in the spring. But, you know, we did a safety inspection there this year, installed new safety surfacing, and made quite a few repairs based on that inspection, so we're up to code with that. The airport recreation area, we know how important that is to youth sports, soccer, and even football now with the lease that they have through our department to practice and bring all the kids to one location, makes it easier for the parents to drop them off, and that was something the commission's worked on over the years. And then the waterfront park, we're working with the Nature and Land Conservancy, and once again, they're kind of really spearheading most of those projects that make it look so nice, keep it up, and then we keep in close contact with them. The next section of the plan is our services. That's like the van or the meal program, all the different groups that use the farm or Water's Edge throughout the year, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, and various clubs. Just touched on the Gyra and GISA partnerships that we have, and then support. We have commissioners that serve on other committees, like Leah with the open space and greenways, and I know there's other commissioners on different committees and commissions, so it kind of interlinks all the different programs in the township that the township's responsible for, that we work with other groups to kind of keep everything together and going in one direction, I guess I'd say. That's support. And then we finish up with a message. And this year, we can't thank the community enough for their support for the additional millage. We take it very seriously. We want to have a budget and a plan that they can measure. What are we going to do with that additional money? Are we going to stay true to our word and maintain the facilities we have? And what are our plans each year? And you'll see that in the budget, and just how seriously we take the support and keeping our facilities up. Because we've had some rough years from 2008 to 2012. And then last, we have under the annual report, we have our 2014-2015 performance objectives, and there's a series of projects, a list of projects, and you'll see those when I review the budget. Does anybody have any questions from the annual report when you received it?
Tim, under 2013 projects.
Your mic, Ethel.
I don't have it. I'm sorry. Under the 2013 projects, you have everything listed, but you didn't add the kayak launch is not listed. And that was a big project, I think.
Let me see. Well, if it's not in there, it better be.
And
Did you get the 2014-2015?
Yeah, yes, I have all of that.
It should be the second one on mine.
It's down here. It says 2013 projects. It's on the third page.
Oh, you mean as far as okay.
Yeah, what you did.
Yeah, we have that set for 2014 now, because we're still going
Well,
through
I just put down the temporary kayak because you did do that.
Right.
In 2013.
Yep.
Okay. And then on the second page, everything says 2014, and it should be 2013, just in case the people read it and wonder.
Okay, yeah, I'll let Sharon know. I know I appreciate that, because
Yeah, it's not a problem. But
What page was that on?
The second page. Monthly meetings in 2014 should be 2013.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, there's 4 or 5 different.
Thank you for that,
Yeah.
because there's...
Just in case somebody reads it and wonders.
Nope, I'll make a note of that. Okay, anybody else have any input on the...
No.
Otherwise, it's a great report, Tim.
It would have been attached to your last week. I think I sent it out on Friday.
Yeah.
Did you get...
Sorry, I was in Florence.
Ooh. Now, based...
Feel sorry for you.
I don't know how he gets all that stuff done.
Okay, anything else, Tim? Anybody have any questions for Tim?
No, and then that'll be in print another month with the performance objectives, and I don't know if we'll go much detail at the annual meeting with that, but it'll be up on our webpage and available to the residents.
Okay, you all set?
Yes.
All right, great, thank you very much. Do we have anything under old business?
Wait, he's got a lot more.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He's got 5 bullet points. So it's number 1.
No, I jumped ahead, I'm sorry.
Yep, sorry about that. I know we talk about the community block grant program quite a bit, and these projects are bouncing all these different directions. I just wanted to update you where we are on all of the projects. We took a bunch of money that was not going to be utilized, and we reprogrammed it. So if you should have that sheet there with you, the information sheet for the block grants. The first page, proposed projects for 2014-2015. I just appeared before the Township Board, and we recommended these services for the $63,000 that we receive from the county. Typically, we go with a higher amount for the senior programs. That's some very needed funding, and there's a little description of where we use those funds. The Senior Alliance Program, the Area Agency on Aging, we provide $1,750 from the grant money. Most communities do. We've been at it for quite a while. A lady was in attendance at the Township Board meeting the other night and was very thankful for the support we've given them over the years. And then ADA improvements, Centennial Farm, the parking lot reappears again this year. We weren't able to get that completed. Some of the money I will use for the kayak launch, which is fine. It's under the ADA, and then there'll probably be about $10,000 left from last year's, and we'll add it to that to complete the project. I'll highlight that in a little bit. And the wheelchair for the community van. And then if you flip the page over, these are the programs that I've been talking about for a couple years and waiting for approvals, and fox snakes on the shoreline, that type of thing. Universal kayak launch, the bid notice will be in the paper tomorrow. Pre-bid meeting will be March 4th. Bid opening March 11th. Or wait, those were in last weekend, excuse me. Award date pending. Have to wait for the permits and county soil erosion, those type of things. Construction date, as soon as we get all that in order, we're ready to go. The funding's there. The Water's Edge ADA pool lifts, once again, that's all in motion. That should be done early April. And then the East River Playground ADA improvements, bringing that up to code for the age group that utilizes that school now. When we first put it in, it was a little bit of older group. So that's where we're at with those projects.
A question for Tim, please. Sure. Just back to the township-wide senior programs, $24,000. Recently, you've talked about the bad shape of the van, but is it the same van? It's not. We still have that van,
right?
And that's one that's going to get the wheelchair lift.
Yeah, that's our plan right now.
No one donated a new van recently?
No, we'd be glad to take one though.
Thank you.
Tim?
Yes.
And it's my understanding with the companies that you've gone to for the lift, that lift could be removed from that van.
Correct.
And placed on a new van should we be so lucky to get one donated.
Definitely.
Okay, thanks.
Yep.
Tim, where are the pre-bid conferences going to be held at?
Right here, usually downstairs in the first floor conference room.
Okay.
And everyone's welcome.
Right. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, anybody else? Next item? Go ahead.
I'm sorry, real quick. So is that parking lot in Centennial Farms, do you think that's going to happen this year?
Yes, okay. I do.
Good, thanks.
Anything else, Tim?
Let's go over that capital.
Yeah, okay, good.
Okay, you should have a bigger packet.
Yep.
Okay, you'll see, I think I've got it back to back on yours, right? The list,
Yeah.
front and back of the page. Okay, as you know, several meetings we went over different projects when the millage passed. We knew what the projects we wanted to try to take on. I mean, there was so many that we had to prioritize. And we
Yeah.
had a meeting last month and went over all the various projects and discussed the pros and cons and how best to approach the financing. And what this list here is, do you see, are the projects that we're going to take on this year. There's 3 of them. You see the highlighted numbers, the bold ones, 11,000, 33,000, 46,000.
Yeah.
Those are ones we're going to finance over several years. So the first project, and there's page numbers that you can take a look at each page where these projects will be.
Yeah, I see that.
Okay. We'd like to get the bathrooms and the painting and the stone and mortar fixed around the building. That bottom picture kind of gives you a good view of the
Front.
some of the mortar and, the stone and mortar that are on the front of the building. Not all of it needs to be done, but we'd like to shore up what we have, caulk things up, keep water out, that type of thing. The flat roof, that's in pretty bad shape. That's above the walk-in, some of the kitchen, and we've gotten some quotes on that. It's going to cost about $10,500 to complete that work. When you look at the second sheet in your budget, not the 2014-2015 capital improvement project, you'll see the overall capital improvement plan that we have for other projects. There's some, you'll see it's kind of top-heavy in the first year. Those are projects we'll take on this year that you see on the front page, the first column. That column there.
Yeah.
And then you'll see a couple other projects that are like the big roof, not the flat one. This one.
Yeah.
That's geared for or set for next year, and you'll see that in one of the columns there.
Okay.
That could be one bigger item we could get done in 1 year, but in talking to several roofing companies, that's not a necessity yet. It's coming, but the smaller roof's more important.
Okay.
I hope this is making sense. I'm kind of doing it on the... Okay. Okay. The third is the loans for Water's Edge. You see that column there? That's completely in the budget. The addition, and then the loan for when they combined the loan for I think it was the pool. This was before rec. The pool, the lift, and a couple other items.
Is that what sometimes you call the bond?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's the balance. 105?
No. No. One will be paid off in 2017, the other in 2025.
So that's just the total of the 2.
Total of the 2 for that payment for that year, yes. Next, we have the tractor and the pole behind, and we're going to do that over a 5-year period. You see the total for is off to the right there. Oh, I forgot to put the pole behind it. It's about $51,000. And to combine, Mike?
So does that mean you're going to get the new tractor this year
New tractor this year,
and pay for it over 5?
yes.
Good.
And that includes the pole behind a rough
So
more.
that means when my ball's in the fairway, it'll be nice cut grass.
Yes.
However,
That should be a $51,000
however, if it's
figure.
in the rough, you're not going to find it. No, we got.
Now, this goes before the board Monday, and then there's still the annual meeting. So
Yeah.
you need to look at it before it goes to them. We've talked to a subcommittee, which included Ted Van Oss, Lauren was there, Jim Budney, Dale Ream, Ann Silver, and Brian. Brian Loft, supervisor. Let's see here. Then we have the travel lift, the tires, and then there's straps that go across there. Those need to be replaced. So we'd like to get that done this year. And we had it inspected by the company that builds those in Sturgeon Bay, and they said it's, time to do those.
Both, yeah.
Yep, both.
You can tell by looking at the tires and the straps,
Yeah,
both.
they're still strong, but be safe,
Yeah, oh, yeah. You don't want to drop a boat.
Okay, the next project you see, page 67, under marina expenses. I should have it asterisk if you want to flip to that page. That's the site where the proposed kayak launch. And I just gave you the update on the project timing. And that's funded through an outside grant, all of it, engineering included. Another one that's been was important to the marina, Bob Lang, who's been there since the 1970s, does a wonderful job. We would like to replace the concrete, the structure, and while we're doing that, put new electrical in. The pedestals, the electric right in as we're building that. And that's ready to go for this year. And probably we'd do it at the end of the boating season. And that would be the electrical and, updating fixing the concrete and the structure, that type of thing, about a $46,000 project for those 2 docks.
Yeah.
But it hasn't been done in years, and
They're in
we want to protect our facilities.
Yeah, they're in tough shape.
And there was a period, looking at the 1990s, I think over $1 million, before recreation was there, before it was combined, over $1 million from the marina went up on the hill to the golf course, the pool, and those other areas. So that has really helped support the other recreation areas at Water's Edge. So these are things that need to be done to one of the money makers at the site.
For a long time.
Jim? When will you start the bidding process on the dock repairs?
I would have to check with the engineers. If it's approved, I'd probably get a hold of them right away, but the timing-wise, talking to different contractors and talking with Bob, it'd probably be a fall project.
But
I'm not, probably sometime in the summer, I would think.
okay.
I mean, whatever the timing would take, I know permits would have a big impact on it, too,
Sure.
how much we'd have to get involved with the permitting process. Sometimes we can get around that, sometimes there's too much you're doing over on the water that they won't allow it, and you guys know that.
Yeah.
Those are the docks, a winter picture of the docks. Pool fence. I'd like to get that completely done. A couple years ago, we got a quote on about $1,800. Now I think it's going to be around $2,500 to fix the fencing. We don't want to replace all of it because some of it's in still good shape.
It just basically needs to be straightened, though, right?
Right, and there's the picture you're seeing right there where it's bowed out a little bit, that's where we hung banners. And I think when the wind gets it coming from the northwest, it just blows.
Keep moving on it?
Yeah.
Moving on it, yeah.
But if you walk around, it doesn't all need to be replaced. But
So we're not going to hang any more banners on there?
no, I don't think we should.
No.
Hey, Tim,
Yes.
the at the meeting Monday night, we approved bidding for a 6-foot-high aluminum fence.
I saw that.
Do you think it might be a good idea to have the same people come in and bid this right along with it?
I think they might have. Did they get a quote or did they already? Did they?
I think it's been quoted, but I don't know if it might be.
Well, I got the name of Veterans Fencing, so I'm definitely going to call them.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at.
Casey's and the one that we see a ladder under. I can't think of their name right now, but the quote I had was from Casey a couple of years ago, and then I talked to him.
Yeah, perhaps you might get a better price is what I was looking.
Oh, we definitely will get at minimum 3 quotes.
Gotcha.
Yeah. This is an older picture of the boiler room. That bigger boiler you see, that's been replaced a couple summers ago. The little one's over 20 years, and it's starting to. It may go this summer, so we have that in the budget. We were able to get it going and get it tested out by the state, and everything was fine last year, but it's aging. We had a contractor look at it and said it's getting close. Pool lifts. We were going to go with one that was going to be, we'd have to take some of the concrete out and sink it in, but we're going to go with a portable one. Now, this is a little bit smaller than the one we'll actually get, but we'll be able to move it around and move it out during the winter.
How much weight can that lift?
300. Yeah. And that's covered by a grant.
Okay.
Okay, recreation. When we were talking about the use of the millage money, this was one that I really wanted to push for. I had a few questions on it. The last several years, the community's raised $93,000, and we knew it was going to be upwards from 120, 130 to complete it. And I have it in the budget. I brought it forward to the subcommittee a week and a half ago, I think it was. They seem very supportive of it, but it has to go before the whole board. So eventually, so we have about 23 left from the community, and if we could get the 30,000 from the board with this budget, that'd give us 53. And I think we could finish it off. We might have to use some used equipment. This is Woodhaven's, and I wish I would have known that Southgate was giving their boards away. Ooh. But they were lucky enough to have an engineer that worked for both cities, and they told them that was available. But that's kind of what we hope it'll look like when it's finished. Maybe a little more screening on either end by the parking lot and also by the golf course. The telephone poles we use with the netting like on the range and by the basketball. We'll do that too, because we'll have, you could see some of the other fencing.
Yeah.
We do have a lot of children passing by to go to the volleyball or the basketball court, so that'll have to be done. We have a quote from Riley Sports. They're a big company out of Minnesota that does a lot of dasher board, hockey boards, and fencing. To get a whole new system like that, not the concrete pad, is around $72,000 with the fencing. It's just amazing. It's state of the art.
Wow.
Well, the same company, I asked if they had any used equipment. We'll ask other companies also. They have, I thought I had included it here, and I didn't bring the packet, but I wanted to show you the equipment. Arena was getting rid of their boards, and Becker did the job, so they brought them back to their warehouses. There's a small community in Minnesota that's using one of the indoor, and they used it this year, and they loved it, and it's working out good. With the indoor ones, they might expand a little bit, where the other ones are fiberglass.
Oh.
Yeah, and these have like a poly covering over the wood, and what will happen is it'll probably start breaking up over a few years, and to redo it with fiberglass would be about 15, so it'd be 23 now. We'd see how long it would take if we want to go that route. Well, our committee will sit down, bring it back to the commission, decide which way to go on this, but we'll probably try to move fairly fast because we'd like to open it up this summer. So with the 23,000, we could probably do the fencing. Well, with the 23,000 used one, it actually comes with a glass. So that's an option that we could look at with the committee and then bring it back to the commission. But we have some out, and I'm going to talk to a couple other companies that there was one that was involved at U of M, and Mike had called. Yeah, and I wrote several emails. I still want to track them down because I figure they're busy with all the ice pond hockey going on right now. So I still want to hit them up again. And there's one other company, you'd know the name if I said it, but you see it on hockey uniforms all the time.
Rawlings?
What is it?
Rawlings?
No, I don't think that.
McGregor?
No, it's probably Bauer.
What's that?
Bauer?
That might be one of them. I'm not sure. I don't know, but I have that information.
Bauer's big on the equipment.
I know this is taking a little bit of time, but I think it's important after the village, and we just need to.
We got time.
Thank you. And you can see where the old lift is.
Yeah.
And we wanted more room because we thought we'd tote more people around to the malls and different areas as groups instead of the single or double pickups. But over the years of that being underneath the van, these winters beat it up. So we're going to go with, this is also covered by a grant. see how it would fit right into the back of the, thank
Yeah.
you.
And that one at least gets out of the way of the crud, right?
Right.
Yeah,
All remote, or all powered too.
yeah.
Okay. I might be jumping over some of these. Oh, definitely wanted, there's Annette's computer, Gail's computer, and the Pro Shop computer are from the dark ages. So we have a quote for 3 at $5,500. That is in there. Community van, East River Playground, ADA upgrades. That was that block grant I just updated on. That was going to be done this spring. We'll be up to code there. Okay, the farm. And there'll probably be more projects that we'll do as the year develops within the farm. I know once we get into the fence project, we want to use volunteers for that Eagle Scout project to get that south fence taken down and then replacing those boards and get things painted up. You know, we'll update the commission as we go. But the moving partition, that was put in 97, 98, and all the different groups moving it back and forth and closing it up. And naturally, that's going to wear and tear a little bit. And to be safe, we need to put about 2,300 into that to make it, you know, solid and safe. I mean, it's safe now, but we want to make sure it's, you know, updated and
Last longer too.
Yeah,
Put that in.
exactly, preventative. And then we are holding on the floor replacement. There's money in the budget for it, but we want to make sure we have some people take a look at our building and also some other flooring companies. But that sports flooring, I think, would hold up, and they use it in schools and cafeterias and would take a beating. It has like only one seam. So, but I brought some of the materials and information. They could do that floor for about $22,000, but it would last forever. But that's something we have to talk about more down the road, and that's not in this budget. But it's, if you look at your capital improvement plan, it's kind of sitting there for next year. Mm-hmm. But it'd be nice if we get things started and projects going good that we talk about a little later in the year and after we get all our results back in.
And we're still going to take a look at the floor base.
Yeah, that's very key.
Because if that's bad.
Yeah, actually during the meeting, Walt said, let's not put it in right now. We still got to, Tom was going to have somebody come look at it, and then we want to make sure what we're doing is it's going to last and, you know, it's not going to ruin it right away.
We want to do it right.
Yeah.
I have contacted, as I said I would, this friend of mine who's been in metal buildings for, I don't know, 40 years at least. It's just that the weather has been so brutal. I didn't want to put Ray up on the roof, and you know, until it eased up a little bit. But it's still it's called metal building construction, and he's been in the business a long time, and he's agreed to come and take a look at it for us and give us some guidelines. You know, what he thinks. So I didn't forget.
This is that parking lot that was there in 1995, 96 when the township purchased it in 97. And we put ADA parking in immediately there because we didn't have any other parking lot at the time. And then the bigger parking lot came later. And it's pretty worn out, and we can get that covered by a grant.
Will that be a resurface or a replace?
I'm thinking replace. Yep. That's the bathroom door that's right when you saw the parking lot, that's the one that faces the parking lot, and it's got to be upgraded and made ADA because it's got that lip on it.
Yeah.
And then on the east side facing the horse outdoor arena, you could see that those are exits in case of fire, but there's a step down on it. So I'd like to use the money along with the parking lot money to get a walkway around the building, either leading out to the parking lot or around to the back, but we'll have to talk about that.
What are the, just looking at that picture, what are those things hanging off of the top of the door?
It must have been a branch or something caught there.
Is it a branch? You know, I'm wondering.
That was after a storm, too.
Remember we talked about the water pouring in over there?
Yeah, that's the one right there.
Is that something we need to put an awning on?
Tom had that same, Tom's thought about this quite a bit.
Yeah. Well, that's what you're talking to your friend about that, right, Tom?
Correct, Bill. Let this weather break. Give it another week or two, and I'll get Ray out here, and we'll go through it and get his assessment.
Yeah.
We're talking about the inside of the activity center where the water comes.
Yeah, it's all
Yeah.
crumbling right there, yeah.
Okay.
I didn't forget Ethel's chairs, her padded chairs. We'd like to get some. We got those old metal things that are uncomfortable, but we've been looking at several of them.
How many chairs would you buy?
I think she probably wanted like 20 or 25, but I'd like to get about 50 for maybe if we ever need it for a bigger event. So that's kind of how I base the price in the budget.
Downriver Council of the Arts just had somebody call us and donated 40 chairs but they're the ones that's stackable,
Yeah.
and not like these, but they're in beautiful shape, and they just gave us 40 for the, yeah, we unloaded them today and put them up in the theater area.
Yeah, we'd like folding if we have to buy, but if somebody wanted to donate padded chairs, we'd find room for it.
Yeah. I'm glad that we could have used them over there, because when she told me about it, and I said, "Are you sure you need this?" She said, "Oh, yeah." Well, if they didn't, I was going to say, "Here, bring them. I know where to take them."
Yep.
But it didn't happen, so I keep my eyes open.
Page 50 is the capital improvement project overall. Oh, I'm sorry, John.
That's okay. The tables that we eat on in the activity center. Right now they're on the heavy side. Is there any chance of getting a lighter type table put together?
Some of those older ones were purchased when we went in the building. They're called Mighty Lights.
Okay.
And it was 1997. Look, they're still holding up. I mean, they're a little dingier than some of the newer ones, but
Right.
those have been around for, how many years has that been? 18? I don't know how many years now.
Well, they hold up fine. I'm just wondering.
Yeah, it's easier to move maybe we should keep the lighter ones out there for smaller events when we're not having a big thing going on.
If they're easier to use as well as set up and take down,
Yeah, those things last. That's why we bought them, but they are a little bit tougher to move. Page 50 is the capital improvement plan. I think we'll probably be adjusting that each year. But to get going this year, get some of those needed projects done. One that's not on there, and Bob said in the next 5 to 10 years, is that those tracks that run out over the water on the lift. He said those are going to need to be done. We've got prices on that, but...
For the lift.
Yeah, the lift, but the tracking we need to do, he said
Yeah.
probably the next 5 to 10. But
Yeah, that's got to be...
so that'll be added probably next year.
Because we have to do something, though, when we get our new tires on that lift, we need to do something that will help them guide that better so we don't tear them up again. Because those tires, as you know, are expensive as heck.
Right.
And we do have the same kind of a problem over at Albemarle. And it just, there seems to me there should be a better way of guiding it. Obviously, the weight of the boat and the size of the boat has some bearing on how wide those tires spread, but they don't spread a lot. But it's very difficult when you're trying to look down where you're going. It's tough. I know I've worked on that crew for years, and I know what Bob's going through and his team. Yeah, so we have to give that some thought. And I'm sure Mike's thought about that too.
Bob has a small team to get a lot of work done.
Yes, he does.
And then 51, 52, and 53 are those three that we're financing over a few years. The tractor, pull behind, you can see how it's financed and the interest. And then the irrigation.
Yeah, that's another one of our big problems.
The irrigation's a little more than 11, but this will, fix the heads on the sprinklers and get us a plan going to upgrade.
Yeah, because we run it through, even when we get into the hot ages, and on the golf course, that is, and when we get into the hot areas, we need that irrigation to keep all the money and the effort that we put in to keep the greens and fairways done. We need to be able to maintain that. And we had, I think, what did Mark say, 7 or 8 breakdowns last year?
Yeah, it's
So
it's an old system.
Oh, yeah. So
We've come a long way, though.
Yeah, we have, and he's done a heck of a job.
And then the last one is the piers, 4 and 5, with the electric and the
Yeah.
concrete and structural repairs.
Yeah, that's obvious that needs to be done.
The overall budget's $1.3 million, and the farm is $178,000, or almost $179,000 of that. The biggest thing in the revenue area would be the support the community gave us just in the nick of time, I think. You know, after we took on Water's Edge, I think we've held on a long time. I think the community's using it more as in general, you know, the different activity areas, and I think that is a, I don't know what you call it, the gem, you know, the entryway to the community, and I'm glad they're helping us with it, because in the end it's going to pay off, even this year with what Kathy and Tom are doing with the kayaking. That some of those events that they have planned are going to bring a lot of people there.
Sometimes I think, since we hadn't had any renewal of, well, we had a renewal, but since we really haven't had any additional revenue for recreation, we've taken on, just in my mind, I can name 5 or 6 things that we have now been assigned that not only takes manpower but money to not only get set up, but to maintain and preserve. And those things, and this is why we want to thank the community for realizing that even if they didn't have all the detail, I can assure them and I can assure all of our guys on the board that those things were desperately needed. The finances that we're going to get, we're not wasting anything, but it's a time when you can't let something go beyond the point of rescue, because the replacement values now are just astronomical. And I'm sure the community understands that, and we, again, thank them from the bottom of our hearts to preserve all of this for our community and the people in it.
You're here.
And that $1.3 million, the community support through the 2 millages would be $494,000. So that's how it's. So when we came to Water's Edge, we had a $300,000. Let's see, about 200, because it was going down at the time, probably around $280,000, $290,000 as we were taking on that facility.
Yeah.
So we were trying to be creative with grants and fees and charges, and so it was kind of the commission took on the commission did a wonderful job to get us this point, but we really needed the community in November. And as a recreation director, been in it since high school, recreation field, I can't thank them enough for how much they treasure, you know, that kind of public service.
And just look what we've done in those 26 years in cutting out. I think in the last few years, we've cut out $1 million out of that budget.
Yep.
You did.
No, we did. We all
Well,
did. The staff.
You know, some guy was pushing the pencil, and the people. So, thank you for that.
In the revenue area, the only one I decreased a little bit was the golf, because it's been going down nationally. It was maybe a little high, but we've reached those numbers in the past, you know, even when Rec was there. So it's lower than what we've reached, but it was about maybe 7,000. We reduced it to be more realistic with the budget after this year. We were trying to be realistic last year, but I've got some articles I'm going to share with you from the people that monitor the golf industry, several of them, and it's pretty much the same thing. It's down all over again, and there are not as many people playing golf. But small public courses are treasured where they are. If you find one still in existence, the community loves it and does not want it to go away. That's why they would not be there if it didn't mean something historically, or for the children to go and use, and the senior citizens. It's usually what you'll find at those. It's something that they want that adds another element to the recreation experience.
Yeah. And I was going to. It went in and out of my head pretty quick. Did it fall on the floor there? But anyway, the thing I was going to mention was that we're going to do a little bit more this year, as much as we can this year, in promoting throughout the community, including the boat clubs, to try and establish leagues or fun groups to come down and play on Saturday and Sundays, because we have quite a few openings on those days, and it would be great if we could get one boat club to the other boat club. And so anyway, we've talked to a person to help us promote not only the pool with our community but in these events, and also in the golfing events. So keep your eyes open in the community for some of these tournaments and things that we're going to have. And I think they're going to be a lot of fun, and we're going to start, actually we're starting next week to contact some of these clubs and groups and see if we can't get them to help themselves and help us by participating in golf and swimming. Tim, anything?
Yeah.
You got, what's next?
Yeah, I didn't put this up on the screen. It's kind of the personnel breakdown.
Oh, okay.
I wanted you guys to be able, it's in the budget, but a little more detail. There's a couple areas I wanted to point out that were different. Under the enrichment coordinator's position, what I gave to the board was some justification. That area has been underpaid for several years. That person is doing the enrichment coordinating plus the office coordinating, and you know how long Kathy's been retired, and then how long we haven't had a rec secretary. So that would be the biggest jump that I have going into the. But the next pages, if you have time to look it over later, is how I'm justifying that. And then what I did is I compared it to some of the union personnel that are doing similar type jobs, but hers is more of a management. It just works out that way. You'll see that she's quite a bit under those rates. The person with the same name that's a different. The finance assistant, that's a different person there. Okay. She's not listed on it. Those are all union.
Yeah, all right.
And just so you can take a look, hopefully it'll make sense to you. If you have questions, you can call me. And then another aspect of that position is the fourth page, the back-to-back, is not only office time, but there's so many different weekend activities, special events, that person will leave the office and also work weekends, evenings, you know.
Yeah.
So in recreation, we do quite a few things. Let's see here. And then under van meals program and maintenance, rec pro farm, under part-time, the van, and then the maintenance rec pro farm. That means programs.
Yeah.
Those two positions have had a 25-cent raise in 6 years, so I was looking for a 75-cent raise for those two part-time positions.
Okay.
And those are the regular two that have
That's
been
voted on by the board, right?
Right. Yeah, they'll look at this. I just need.
Okay.
I need to let you know what the detail is. When
Yeah,
you look
sure.
at the budget, you know what's going on within the staffing.
Yeah,
It's not something you pay a lot of attention to, but I think it's important that you know who's who.
Yeah.
One thing that I was asked to put in by board members and Walt was the evening program maintenance, kind of like a 3 to 9 o'clock to help, say, Annette and myself's position.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something the board will probably talk about Monday night. And then under part-time seasonal, there's 2 maintenance golf course, 3 days at 2 of them for 3 days, maybe 5 to 6 hours a day to help out on the golf course. Those would be new.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's pretty much basically the same. So 3 new part-time. It could be lowered by the board. They could keep them in. I don't know what's going to happen Monday. But I thought it was important to, update you guys.
Well, that's good information for us to have, yeah.
There's a few notes on the bottom that might help.
Yeah.
Another thing that has hurt us is we can't have anybody part-time work over 28 hours because of the new law.
Yeah.
And that's why there's some of the golf course and those
Yeah.
positions. They're not big-time positions. They're not huge wages,
Yeah.
but they'll help us.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else?
Nope, that's it for me.
All right. Anything under old business? One of our old business was the restaurant, and that's We already covered that one, so if there's nothing under old business, we'll go to new business. Anything under new? Nothing on the new, so we'll go to subcommittee reports and updates. Open Space Greenways Committee. Leah?
Oh, yes, that is me, isn't it?
Yeah, but you.
Yes. I did finally actually make a meeting with the Greenways and Open Space Committee meeting. They are, at that time, were in the process of preparing what we've just gone through for our side of it. And they expressed their support for continued collaboration among us and with others. And they were reviewing projects too, so I think that's their responsibility to share. But I thought it was a successful meeting. They're a hardworking group. They're going to schedule more cutting things for wood,
Tree cutting and
tree
stuff
cutting
like
for the
that.
wood that's down. But of course, with the snow right now, that doesn't work. And in the spring, it's going to be wet, so who knows? And the other projects that we know about, like the dump the junk and all that kind of thing, is going to continue. And they're really planning to do more with electronic disposal at the next one.
Yeah, that seems to be a big, I've got a
Yeah.
bunch of stuff I have to dispose of. Is that
That's
you
what
all
they're
set?
talking about.
Okay.
Yeah, and Wally Prosek is the
Working on that.
liaison there, and he knows how to do that based on the kinds of things they're doing through Wayne State. So
Yeah. Good.
I think it'll be a successful year for them too. Look
Yeah, it
forward
would
to
be.
seeing them at the annual meeting.
Yeah, it would be great. Okay, on the golf side, we discussed a lot of the golf course right just during this presentation from Tim, but there's a couple of things that we need to do, and I want to mention that Tim has sent out to most of the people who golfed last year in this community and wherever they lived. We sent out the new program or the new announcements for golf and golf leagues. And I want to mention to you that there is room for more leagues. There are room for more personnel on the existing leagues because we have plenty of room for that. So if you're interested, and again, I want to emphasize that these are fun leagues. These are not big, serious, big money, big competition. This is just have fun playing golf, and with a lot of teasing and a lot of camaraderie. And so it's just a fun, relaxing time. So please come and talk to the recreation department, and they'll get you signed up or connected with whoever else you would like to be connected with, or ask them for my name, and I'll be more than happy to get with you and see if we can't get more participation. Obviously, the more participation we get in the golf course, the better it is at the end of the year financially for the township and for the golf course. The second item I want to mention is that we have 8 trees that we need to have cut down. I've contacted a couple of people, and we are scheduled, if we can get back to the trees to do it, we're scheduled to take down 4 of them. So if you're in need of firewood or have the ability to cut firewood, you cut down the bulk and you take what you want, and whatever you leave, we'll take care of. We have one guy that's coming in. He's going to take care, not only is he going to stump the trees, but he's going to mulch up all the branches and things. That's wonderful on his part. But if that's not what you would like, but you'd like to cut the tree down and take the bulk, we'd be more than happy to work with you on that. Contact Tim's office, Recreation office, or me, and we can get that coordinated and take a tour of the trees and see which one would be. These are all, I think, 6 of them are ash trees. 2 are not a hardwood tree, but a softer wood like maple or something like that. Yeah, dogwood, that's it. Yeah, way to go. So that's my end of it. Thank you very much. Marina, Mike?
The only thing I have, because it's pretty quiet at the marina, all the good news regarding the kayak launch we built last year, and then with the one we're going to build this year. I just want to bring back up to the board, to the commission, my proposal for fees. You know, there's fees for boating, fees for docking, fees for golf, fees for swimming. This is a fee-based recreation program. My proposal is that there be a $5 fee to launch or a $50 year pass, and there should be a fee for the organization or the private business that gains business by bringing kayakers to our marina. We've done a nice job with golf and with boating. All the flyers are out to get my money for me to golf in my league this year, and I'll be buying my pass. But I just want to bring that one back up. It's revenue. It's a great facility we offer. I think there should be a fee like many of the other recreation components. It's not too late, but we need to do it now if we're going to do it for this summer. I might be the only person proposing fees for kayak, but that's my feeling as Marina Subcommittee Chair.
Any comments to Mike? If none, then we'll move on to the Centennial Forum.
Bill?
Oh, what?
I have a comment.
Oh, okay, Leah.
I thought,
Did-
oh, okay.
No, he was.
Yeah, no,
Well, I'd like to
Mike, I
comment
think that's
also, but
I think
go ahead,
that's a
Leah.
good idea. I support that.
Tom?
I'm in support of fees for usage of the kayak launch. I think that the amount of the fees that we charge should be discussed. And you know, it's one thing selling an annual pass, which is very simple. You go and you buy your pass, you put your sticker on your bumper or your back window, and you're good for the year. It comes down to how are we going to collect individual fees and be assured that we're collecting for every kayak that would come in. And part of this would go right along with a program of transient boating. And I think that both ought to be discussed in a study session, and then, you know, over the coming month, and then brought back to the board to the commission for the next meeting, and with some sort of agreement. I don't know how you feel about that, Mike.
Well, I'm willing to pull a Marina Subcommittee group together quickly just to kind of have a discussion with a few people that are part of that and come back with a recommendation next month. But who else should be involved?
Well, you're obviously your committee. I'm not quite sure who's on your committee. Okay, but certainly it should be brought back to this committee
Right.
and approved.
Okay.
But discussion as to, my feelings as far as individual launch, it may be different than yours. I just think it should be discussed, and then if you're going to discuss that, how we're going to manage transient boating as well, because there's responsibilities by I want to say dock owners or people who keep their keep their boat at the marina. If they're going to leave for an extended period of time, they need to be able to let the rec department know, so that if a transient boater does come in, we have a well to put him in. So I think both of them kind of go together.
They do.
As far as fees go.
They do, and it's hard to collect the transient boaters. That's kind of an honor system. There are signs there, and some people walk up the hill and pay their $5 when they tie their boat up, and some don't.
So I'm just saying, I'd like to see that as part of the discussion and move forward. So we have a set policy. Everybody knows what it is, and who you hand the check over to.
Okay. Anybody else?
And Mike, just let me know when you're going to do it.
Okay.
I just like to sit there and be with you.
Good.
Anybody else have a comment on that? If not, we'll move on to the airport recreation.
He's not here.
Oh, yeah, Greg's not here. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Centennial Farm.
I have no report.
No report. Okay. Nothing from Greg, I don't think, at this time of the year anyway. Senior Citizens, Ethel Yops.
I just have a few reminders and a few additions. The senior meetings are the second and fourth Tuesdays of every month, and they begin with coffee at 11:15 at Centennial Farm. And the members through the club continue to make cash contributions monthly to the Sacred Heart Food Bank, and this is always appreciated. Our Creative Writing Club members, Gail Albin, Ethel Yops, and Pam Frushi, will present a program at the senior meeting April 22, 12 noon at Centennial Farm. Katie Graham, Senior Alliance, will be presenting a full-service program for seniors on May 13 at 12 noon at Centennial Farm. And all seniors and others that are interested in laws and help for seniors are invited, and coffee beginning at 11:15. The next dinner for the Recreation Department sponsored dinner is St. Patrick's Day dinner, Wednesday, March the 12th at 12:30, $10 at Centennial Farm. And following that in May, on May the 7th, is the Cinco de Mayo Recreation dinner at 12:30 at the farm. It's $10, and the advance reservations are appreciated because we have a lot of walk-ins and it's very hard to plan. And these are done at Water's Edge at the office. And I want to thank all the grosseile seniors and guests for their support of the Recreation Department monthly dinners. These dinners are an excellent value and a way to mingle and meet new people. And I have a few reminders. The first and third Thursday pinochle at 1 p.m., Centennial Farm. If you've never played pinochle, come out. We'll teach you. There's no pressure, and you just enjoy. And the free blood pressure with Henry Ford Wyandotte Hospital nurses is the second Tuesday of every month at 10:45 till noon. And thank you.
Thank you very much, Ethel. Schools and Senior Olympics, John Conroy?
Sure. We had an event this past Tuesday where about 15 of us from our ping pong group joined the Taylor Senior Center people and took on the Taylor Truman High School kids in ping pong matches as well as camaraderie, and we had competitive matches, and then we also had mix them up and play with whoever was there matches. And it was a big success. We were there from 2:30 till probably 5:30, and it was a great event. It was a lot of fun. Other than that, the sports programs are wrapping up. The cheerleaders have done very well. They're competing in the state tournament this weekend, I believe, and girls basketball is also doing very well. I haven't heard the latest results from this week, but they're doing very well. And as always, thank you, Tim, for doing what you do, buddy.
Hear, hear.
I'd like to add one more thing. John, the reason I was late tonight was I was attending the National Honor Society's installation tonight, and our liaison was installed.
Will, okay.
Oh, yeah.
He had a good excuse. That's good.
Wow.
Tim, I had one question regarding when the inline skating, all that happens, the rink when it does go in. I've had some requests for additional pickleball courts. How will all that be affected when the rinks go in?
We'll maintain the two on the basketball, but I don't think we'll put them on the hockey or the skating rink.
Maybe a thought of putting another one down and another pad somehow.
That'd be nice.
Okay.
All set, John?
I'm all set, thanks.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
Playscape?
There's no report at this month.
All righty. Any comment from the public?
Right quick. What Mr. Swale said, it's most interesting. I'd love to attend. I have no problem paying a fee, but I will say that most places do not charge kayakers. And one of the reasons Tom and I talked about the event was to give back to the community and to take the profits from this event and give it to the general fund to dissuade some of the cost. Also, I'm kind of concerned because if we charge them like $5 a launch, they can go across the bridge, launch for free, and just paddle over. So something to consider. Happy to be at the meeting, and like I said, I don't have a problem paying. I'll do whatever you guys want. I'm happy that you have it here. But I will say that if you poll like Ann Arbor, Wyandotte,
Trenton, they don't charge. So the other way is to make an event and give the money back, and that's what Tom and I were talking about doing. We have a goal for it. So just something to think about.
Just so it is free at Elizabeth Park.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. And if you are, I think, 60 and over, you can launch a boat for free, too.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's my husband said. I would not know, but he, you know, I believe him. But I did find out Ann Arbor and almost everywhere they let you launch for free. Where they get you, and this is a great thing, they get you in storage. I've been talking to the people in 3 of the Grosse Points, and I'm going to talk to all 5. One of them has 40 single places to store a boat. It's $100 for the year, and they have 80 double spaces. It's $150. That's where they get the money. They don't do it on launch. Just so you know, to be competitive.
Yep, that's good.
Okay,
Good
and I'd be happy to. Like I said, I'll pay whatever you want. I don't mind, but we don't want to discourage, because they can just paddle right across the street and come on in, and so then you've lost the momentum. And we are trying to get, you know, if we get 50 to 100 people at this event and we make some money and we give back to the general fund, and Tom will be the one presenting the check, because, you know, we're going to work as hard as we can, that will say, here's what the kayakers are doing. And if we can do an event every year to pay back to the general fund, that would be a way. Or if you can get storage, you know, they would swallow that better, I would think. But like I said, I'll pay whatever you want. Thank you.
Kathy, I got a quick question for you. Do you find that individual kayakers want to help by, you know, with voluntary contributions with the day they kayak, or after a week of kayaking, or any?
You mean monetarily?
Right.
I don't think so, because every place it's free. In fact, I even asked about it in Ann Arbor last year, and they said, the water's free. I thought, well, you don't have a boat.
Gotcha.
But, you know, but the one thing I've known, almost everywhere you go, that part of it, and we kayak a lot in St. Clair Shores, they're all free, and they have 3 of them within a mile.
Right. Okay.
But where they get you is the storage.
Okay.
You know, that seems to be the thing. I mean, and when it's right across there, and it's free. So you got to be competitive, but there are ways to make money and to pay back, and there should be.
And Trenton has improved that little soft launch area.
Oh, it's gorgeous over
it's
there,
nice.
and that park has turned into something quite lovely.
Yes.
You know, we come from here and go over there to go through the thing, and now with those bridges, it's just going to be beautiful.
Really nice. Yeah.
But you know, there should be some payback. Absolutely.
All right, thank you very much. Instead of going down the line, does anybody, the commissioners, have any last comments for the meeting?
Yes.
Go ahead, John.
A big thank you to Al Valaket. He allowed us to use one of the big vans that the police department has. We used that to carpool our group. We all met at the farm and put about 8 people into that van and drove over to the Taylor Truman High School and brought it back, and it was very much appreciated. And his boys, his twins, are very much a part of our ping pong program. And of course, we're encouraging young folk to come out and play as well.
Anybody else? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We're done.